I've seen it all over.
That's good. Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you guys spending your night with us. My name is Believer Mike. I have a company called Believer Media, and I specialize in content creation, brand strategy, and different form of social media coaching. So a big reason why I joined the IE Mastermind is because I love the culture that they're creating here. It's very niche. It's niche. It's very open niche. Like a lot of companies will just say, oh, well, you're not a part of our niche. So, we kind of will steer away from that. This is like a melting pot of entrepreneurs, business owners, people just getting started. And it's very welcoming. And the group they're putting together is exceptional. So I love being a part of this group. I love coming to these things. And Jesse and Nick are just really, really become brothers of mine. And so the president Nick here and the president Jesse. I don't know. You guys want me to cover anything else? What we got? You're good. All right. These are the man of the hour. Appreciate it.
Round of applause for Lube. So for those that aren't part of the mastermind, we have a Tuesday call, and he was actually the special guest speaker. Raise your hand if you were actually there. There was a lot of valuable information, right? For those people that you think you may be doing something right or you're not doing something, and the things that we need to do, right? Ultimately, we're all a brand on social media, right? And if you are growing on social media, make sure that you are your authentic self. That's the most important thing that I could encourage you guys. Like me being a man of faith, I wasn't being that up until like 2018 or 2019. I invested in coaching. And I said, you know what? I got to be who I am on the outside on social media. Who cares what people say? Boom, started taking off. So
don't fake it till you make it. Keep it real till it's good.
I say faith it till you make it. Okay, so faith it till you make it. And then the word faith in Spanish means confianza, which means con fe. So either you have it or you don't. Either you're pregnant or you're not. That's what I like to talk to with the client. Either you got hair or you don't have hair. Either you got beard or you don't got beard. It's one or the other, right? So welcome to the IE Mastermind. My favorite part about the Tuesday call was the fact that afterwards we got to go to his house, and that's what we have here, that camaraderie, right? Where it's like we know each other on a personal level, we get to break bread, and afterwards he ended up showing me his man cave. He has a retro like 80s, 90s thing with the Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Power Rangers, all the VHS movies that you think you could have. It was cool. Then we went upstairs to the man cave level 2, and then he had a bunch of Star Wars, which there's two types of people: the people that love Star Wars and the people who hate Star Wars.
No. Nobody hates Star Wars.
No, but let me tell you something.
Just don't know.
Hey, you saw how they triggered. You saw like, hey, whoa. The people who hate the people who hate Star Wars are the people that haven't watched Star Wars. I'm one of those. Yeah, I'm one of them. I haven't watched it.
What's that? I've only watched the Disney ones.
Yeah. So the one thing he showed me something in that room that was he had collectibles, he had signatures of all of these athletes, etc. But the one thing that stood out was that he had a look over there, and he had the IE Mastermind certificate of speaker, like when he spoke here, and that meant something to me because I know it meant something to him when we gave it to him that day when he spoke here, right? Because mental health is something very powerful that I talk about often as a coach, and as men and as women, right? We don't get acknowledged. We don't get recognized. You know the time that most people get recognized the most? When you die, and it's about 20 minutes, and about they only have like 2 to 10 minutes per person to speak. So most people die not knowing what people really thought about them. So for me to see that, I'm like, oh man, that's powerful. So let's get started. IE Mastermind Group, ideas to empires. So one of the things about us here is that our network determines our network, and our network is determined by our network, right? So guys, what does that mean? Who you surround yourself matters, right? I like to say, and I just quote the word, iron sharpens iron. So surrounding yourself with inspired, growth-minded people is something that's very powerful, because this is where the ideas come into place at this table. And then what happens? The idea turns into something real. But it has to be real in your mind before it comes real in the outside, right? Some of you guys get that. Some of you guys may not. Surround yourself with us and you'll see it for yourself. You get to learn from highly successful business owners and coaches, right? One of the speaker today is somebody who decided to bet on himself and start the coaching business, and now he's a 10x business coach. You're gonna get to hear from him in the upcoming minutes. The other one is being part of like-minded people. What that has done for me and all the members, it changes everything, because all of a sudden we're not here talking about referrals. We're talking about business partnerships that take your business to the next level. Raise your hand if you've already done business with somebody here or been on someone's podcast or somebody has mentioned you, right? I know that's one thing that we're huge here. So a little bit about us, if you're more of a visual, we believe that health is wealth, because at the end of the day, you could build an empire, but what's it worth if you are not going to live that long, right? So it's all about longevity. Here are some of the members with their logos. If yours is not up here, reach out to myself or Nick. This was the gala that we hosted where we got to celebrate everybody's win. And one of the best things that I just realized I was there, I didn't even see it, is this banner right here, Infinite Growth Expo, because I was focused on the people. So today we get to hear from one of the speakers there, and I'm pumped up for you guys to hear his story, because this guy's out there winning. So real quick, for all the members, do any members right now have a win from last mastermind meeting to this one that they want to share? Raise your hand.
I'll share.
Go ahead.
Nick and I, we've actually partnered, and we're moving together and continuing to grow the insurance agency. So I think that's a huge win.
That is a win. That is a win.
Being able to hand off my
For the win that happened today at a community meeting and a public hearing for one of our dispensaries that's going to, it's already open, so now we're getting the permanent license. That's part of the process.
Perfect.
Nice.
That's a good win. I'll just remind you guys, because most of us are growing on social media, so I think it is a huge win. Jonathan's YouTube channel went from 60 subscribers to 2,000 subscribers.
Wow.
So I don't know if you guys are trying to grow on YouTube, but that's the one platform that takes the longer time. But once you hit the 1,000, it just starts like compounding, and then you get the 10,000, and then it just starts generating you income. So to me, that's a huge win, right? Anybody else have a win here? Nate?
I was telling Nick the other day, yesterday I was got hired to the SPs.
SPs?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
nice. Hey, let's go. That's good. Hey. You've also done like Snapchat and other companies, right? Like
Yeah, Snapchat. I got hired to do Snapchat 2 months ago, something like that. It was pretty awesome.
So this is one of the reasons why you haven't seen him, because now he's Big Dog Nate over
Ah.
there. Yeah. So
Big
Nate. Any other wins anybody wants to share, personal or professionally? Okay, let's move on. So guys, real quick, we're gonna go around the table. Just your name, your company name, and then that's it. So I'll go first. I'm Life Coach Jesse, and I'm the Vice President of the IE Mastermind.
Mitch Morris with Conrad Alloys, and I'm a member.
Hi, I'm Denise Hernandez, and I'm the owner and founder of Vida Wellness. And I do have a win really quick to share. I'm not a member, but so Vida Wellness just made it into the cover of Amari magazine as one of the most prestigious business of 2023.
That's good. There's something about sharing in a room where everybody just like acknowledges, because we all know the work as business owners, right? It's just like it doubles, right? So also make sure to share if you're a member or a guest. So
My name is Alejandra Samaniego, and now I'm a managing partner with Alliance Business Solutions, and I'm a member.
Thank you. Ansel?
Hansel Urbina, company name would be Cannabis House. We have 2 locations. USC Cannabis House is open. Rancho Cannabis House is in the process of being open.
Thank you.
Nice. Jonathan Rodriguez, owner of Just Right Painting, most known as the Bugatti of the painting.
Mike Lopez, I work at McDonald's.
It pays good nowadays.
Right?
Anthony Garibay, I work with Foremost Commercial Real Estate Services. So anything as far as buying, selling, leasing, subleasing, property management, investing. And if you want to start a company, maybe storefront, restaurant, we specialize a lot in logistics, warehouses, stuff like that. So anything in the commercial real estate.
Bobby Raiden, member, digital marketing specialist, empowering coaches to scale and amplify their online presence.
Thank you.
I'm Brianna Prince. I am the CEO and founder of TrueLeg, which is a life insurance agency, and I am a member. Greg Ross, American Mortgage Alliance Company member, mortgage loan originator and realtor.
My name is David Shea, owner and CEO of Active IT Solutions. We act as an outsource IT department, bringing the full scale, what you would expect from a large $1 million type IT department to the size and scale, scope, price that be reasonable for a small business.
Daniel Elhaj, I'm the Nexus team CEO. I'm a member. We teach people how to trade online, stock market, currencies, and everything.
My name is Ivan Bojorquez. I do Scout micro-vacation. I teach, I certify. I started a mentorship, and that was my win. I just sold my first one. What else do I do? And that's it, I guess. I'm a member.
My name is Nick Paez, founder and president of the IE Mastermind group, and also have a life, health, and health insurance business with Alejandra.
Oh, Tim Manfro, aka Mortgage Manfro. Give guide and educate the mortgage process. You saying like a win?
Yeah, share your win.
If everything goes according to plan, I'll have 15 meetings this week, networking. So.
Hi everyone, I'm Tony, and I'm the assistant / content manager for Just Right.
Thank you, Mr. Nate. I'm the owner of Visionary Media. I am a videographer and photographer.
Thank you. So, by the way, guys, you guys have everything right here that you guys are going to need. So we're going to follow this pretty precisely. Up next, we got the president of the IE Mastermind, Mr. Nick Paez.
Thank you. I'm always excited when I'm here because I'm surrounded by this just like positive energy that you just feel when you're in the room. So I'm glad you guys are all here, and it's going to be an amazing night. So it's my pleasure and my privilege to be able to introduce not only a special guest speaker, but also over time has really become a good friend and somebody I looked up to who inspires me. So I met him, I don't know, it was about 2 years ago at a chamber event. And I just knew from the get-go, just talking to him, that he's going to be doing some big things. And getting to know him and just seeing his journey, it shows how he not only invests in himself, which sometimes is very scary to put a lot of money down to invest in your business and yourself, but not only that, he takes action on what he learns and he applies it to his business, to his life, and to his employees. And that's why he's had such a huge success. So Nestor Gutierrez is a visionary entrepreneur who just at 28 years old today, or not today, but he's 28 today, he catapulted from a lead mechanic running a $300,000 business and turning it into a multi-million-dollar enterprise called Rancho Express Lube. As an owner of Rancho Express Lube, Nestor's journey is a testament to his relentless determination, exceptional leadership, and the power of a united team. His ability to invest in himself, embrace mentoring, and take big action has led to leaps and bounds in his business. He's also achieved the distinguished title of 10X Business Coach with Grant Cardone's Enterprises, made connections with some big names in the industry, and he's also one of the founders of the Infinite Growth Expo that you're going to hear a little bit about tonight. So let's give a warm welcome to Nestor Gutierrez.
Thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate all of you. And thank you, Nick and Jesse, for having me here. I appreciate the opportunity. I know I've seen several faces, but not everyone. So for all those people that don't know me, I am the CEO of Rancho Express Lube and then now 10X Business Coach. And my journey did start in 2016 when I started working for the company. And everything that has happened in my life has really been like God's plan, you can say. You know, like that shop where I ended up working, it was a detour. It was a detour, and I looked over and it said now hiring. I stopped by, I got hired, moved up to manager real quick. Had a really good relationship with the owner, and that planted the seed for the future. And then in 2020, I took over the business in August during COVID, and obviously very hard time to be in business, but we made it work. I took the challenge. Every year since I had the business, gratefully, it's been doing great. But aside from all the good, there's obviously been a lot of bad. like team wise, like it took me a while. It took me a while to have the right people, you know, and it's hard, you know, having a business, like it's hard having the right employees. Like, what is the right employee? Sometimes like the expectation can be so high, but then they come in, they start out hot, and then they kind of like, you know, fall off, and that's when things can get complicated. So that was business for the first 2 years. I started getting into networking and events, and that's when I started in 2022. I really went hard at it. I went with Grant Cardone, Andy Elliott, Albert, the list goes on. But I've spent a lot of money in mentorships, and that's really when my business transformed. At the end of 2022, like I was like, damn, like it's crazy what I've been able to do. But I look back at everything that I've done is because I've learned from the people that have done what I want to get. So it makes sense when sometimes like we don't want to spend a big buck on something. Like when I took on the first mentorship, it was $30,000, and it was very scary because I've never spent that much money on me. I'd rather go buy a car for that much than on me. So that's when my mentality changed. I'm like, I need to do this instead of something physical or an object that's not gonna make me more money. So I did the challenge, and it was super scary, but it forced me to do better and learn everything that that was talked about at the mastermind. And my focus was like, I need my money back. So whatever it's gonna take, I need to get it back. So that was the main focus. Like I broke it down in the day. I'm like, I have 30 days to get this money back, because I could have gone out there and got a loan or something, but I didn't. I kind of like forced myself to make it work. And that was one of the things, like the sell points, like, oh, if you don't get your money back within the 60 days, we'll give you a refund. I'm like, damn, this guy's pretty much telling me that it's a win-win, you know? So I made it work, and I've built a lot of relationships with the 10X community. Really grateful for the people that I met with them. Has opened so many much doors just from 10X. It's really good to be in that position where now I'm just sometimes a contact away from like another person, you know, like I'm in a chat right now that's very powerful, like Brandon Dawson, Grant Cardone, Bradley, a lot of big names are on there, and everyone just talks about business, you know, throughout the day. And it's a very good WhatsApp group to be part of, because so many things are happening there every single day that everyone's helping each other. But once again, that's like the harvest now, because I spend a lot of money in order to be in there, you know. So that's what sometimes we don't think about the long run. We don't think about like spending the $1,000 or $10,000 mastermind or mentorship. Like at the end of the day, it's only gonna make you so much more money, you know. And aside from all that, like I got clear on what I wanted to do. Like at first, I went into business and I didn't know what to do. I just had a good opportunity in front of me, and I wanted to make the best out of it. And like for me, that was pretty much the opportunity in front of me. Was like from the beginning was for my dad. He always wanted me to have my own business, kind of break the family tree, you know. And that was like the main focus. But then as time went, like I saw that I was kind of like being complacent. Like I felt comfortable, and I wasn't really growing. And after the mentorships, I mean, we look at my books, it's like March 2022, is like it just went like this. And I see why, you know, I spent money to make more money. And you know, there's a saying, you gotta pay to play. And when you pay to play and you actually execute, like the amount of return, it's crazy, you know. And right now, like I said, everything's going good. I'm so grateful, you know, thank God everything has been going amazing. I have the right partner, I have a daughter, I have another son, and like life's beautiful. I can't complain. And in business, we have challenges every single day. And for me, that's another problem I had before. I would get a problem, I would get so pissed off. Like, what the hell? Like, why is it always happening to me? You know, like, why is it always me? Like, I've tried my best. Like, I'm the best boss. Like, why is it always this person calling off? And like, it was always like making excuses, really like not finding the solution to the problem. And it got to the point where like, nah, like this is beyond like the problem. That like, I need to fix myself, because I was really the problem as the owner. I wasn't understanding the situation that was going on, because at the end of the day, we're as a owner, as a CEO, that everyone wants that title. Like there's a lot of responsibilities to that, you know. you have to be a great leader. It starts with you. And sometimes we kind of forget that we like the CEO title, but then when it comes like to actually find solutions to problems, that's when sometimes we hate it. That's sometimes when like we kind of throw ourselves in that place that we don't want to like be in sometimes, that we feel the pressure. And it's hard sometimes to come out of that place, you know, out of the hole. But it takes a lot of I feel like a lot of personal development to understand that in business, like it's never gonna get any better. Like you just gotta become a better problem solver. Because if you hate problems and you're in business, like I'm sorry, but it's not gonna work out.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work out. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for you. And sometimes like we can start with one business, maybe let's say it fails. I mean, you look at a lot of successful people right now, like how many businesses they go through to in order to get to where they're at right now. You know, I was talking to David Rivero yesterday in Beverly Hills, and he was saying that he's like, I started doing so many things, went through like 9 different businesses, and until I finally got the right one, and that one's making him a lot of money, you know. So that just shows you, you know, sometimes like things can't be going too bad at the end of the day, because everything's happening for a reason. If business is not good right now, it's happening for a reason. You gotta get better, but we don't see that sometimes. You know, I like analyzing everything that I do. If I'm not having a good day today in business, I act right away. I don't wait until next week to say like, oh wow, like last Thursday was bad. I'm looking at books every single day. I want to make sure that there's always growth, at least by a penny. You know, if today we made less than yesterday, I want to know why. Was it less phone calls? What was it? Less cars? Like what is it? Why didn't we perform as good as we did yesterday? So I'm always trying to find the problem right away. That way we get over the hump and we improve. I'm really big on setting targets, getting the metrics, because when you measure everything with numbers, like it's easy to go to the team and be like, hey guys, like these are the numbers and we're not meeting them, and you know, things gotta change right now. Like we gotta act, and we're not doing things correctly. Like we're a team, we're gonna solve this. And if I'm putting everything in my effort to solve the problem, and if they're not following through, then that's when like it becomes easier to fire them, because you can kind of show them, hey, you know, like the numbers are right here and we're not meeting them. So, you know, we've been talking about this. And for me, like the culture really started getting really strong when I started doing one-on-ones with my employees. Something I learned with Cardone too, like you gotta make sure that you have the relationship with your people, because at the end of the day, they're the ones giving you your empire. They're the ones making you the money. They're the ones doing everything for you. So when we sit on the table and I have a one-on-one with my employee and I ask him, hey, so what drives you? Sometimes it's a question that they don't even know. It's like, no one has asked that to me before. Like you put them in a position that like they're not used to. So when you start asking those questions and they start like giving you the answers, you hold them accountable. If he tells me that his family drives him, I'm like, okay, so when it gets complicated, I don't want you to be, you know, bitching and complaining that, you know, it's always you and there's so many things going on in your life. Like remember about your family, remember about your why, and it's gonna help you get through that bad day that you're having, you know. So I have that relationship now, that connection, that they come up to me sometimes, like, hey, can I talk to you? It's personal. Yeah. And I'm always there for them. And I think that's something that they appreciate, because most of them, they've never had that before. And when you give them those little things, like they start becoming more loyal to you. And that's what you want. You want to make sure that you have a loyal group. I'm not saying that they have to work for me for the rest of their lives, because that's kind of like holding them to a special lid. I want them to do better, you know. So if there's an opportunity, like they already know, like I understand. I'm not gonna be hurt if they go somewhere else, because at the end of the day, that's my problem, because I couldn't give them the opportunity, you know. So that's the relationship I have with them. I like it in a sense where it becomes easy to negotiate. So if one of them tells me that they want, like recently, there was one that I asked him, like, hey, what would you like to accomplish this year? And he told me, I want to go to my first NBA game. I'm like, oh, perfect. Who's your team? Oh, LA Lakers. I'm like, damn, I hate the Lakers, but okay, we'll do something. So I got him tickets for him and his girlfriend to go to the game. And it's something that at first I feel like maybe he didn't really believe me. He's like, oh, okay, ha ha ha, like, yeah, you're right, you know. So then I showed up and I'm like, hey, you know, you got a Laker game tomorrow at 6 p.m. And he's like, you serious? He thought I was gonna go with them, but I'm like, no, it's just you and your girlfriend. And I did that little win, but that little win like meant everything to him. He's never been to a Laker game, huge fan, loves LeBron. Like, oh, just that little win, like now, like he looks at me like I don't know, like I don't know how to describe it. Like he looks up to me now, and I mean he is a little younger than me, maybe by 2 years, but like at the end of the day, like he I feel like he respects me more just because I helped him accomplish a little win, and that goes a long ways when coming to treat your employees right, because remember, like they're the ones making us all the bread and all the good things, and sometimes there's headaches for that, but it's part of the process. So when you give that employee that little win, it just tells them like, hey, you can win with me, you can win together. So when it's time to negotiate, I can give you the thing that you want, but what are you willing to do for me? What are you willing to do at work to make that happen? And it becomes easier. We're like, okay, we talked about the goals. Now let's exchange. I'm gonna give you this, and you're gonna give me this. There's gonna be more duties, there's more responsibilities, but you're gonna make it work. And that's why it's really easy to negotiate now. It's super easy. Like we're talking about sometimes, like it can be a little win, it can be a trip, it can be anything. It can be a bonus, it can be anything. At the end of the day, like I ask, like, what are you after for the next 6 months? It can be anything. So that's you can say that's my hack with employees, like knowing what they want and holding them accountable. It's something that in my case, let's say they went to a dealership, they're not sitting down with the owner of the dealership and they're not getting this treatment. Over there, they're just a number. With me, we're brothers, we're business partners. I don't see them as employees. I'm not looking down at them. Like we're sitting at the table, like we're face to face. Like I want them to be in my seat. Like the same way that I was like 8 years ago, I was in their position. I want to create the opportunities for them. So for me, that's the biggest thing, because it forces me to open up more locations. It forces me to do more things. So that's why, like everything that I'm doing, the 10x business coach right now, like it's an opportunity that came at the right time, because it's helping me learn more. It's helping me teach other people what to do, and not only that, like I'm giving the same knowledge to my people. So when we have one-on-ones every week, we meet as well as a team. There's always meetings, so if I'm giving them the knowledge that I'm learning, I tell them, I'm like, hey, you know what, like just to tell you, like someone just paid me $3,000 for the same thing that I told you, so I'm not telling you to pay me, but I'm just saying, value that the time that I'm giving you, all the information I'm giving you, it works, so understand that. And now they want more, just because they know the value of the information that, like I tell them, like some people are paying me more money just to get the treatment that you guys get, so they really value that, and they really appreciate it. So it's very important you gotta plant the seed. You gotta plant the seed in everything that you do. It didn't take, it took me only 4 years in business next month. Now, like things are, I feel like for me, like I never feel like I'm doing good. I'm always like, damn, like I'm not doing good enough, I'm really competitive. I want to do more, and I'm never satisfied with what I do. I like right now, like I don't think I've done anything special. Like to me, like I don't see it like that. And I hope that mentality never changes. I really want to make sure, every single day that I'm getting 1% better. I'm becoming a better husband, a better boss, a better son, brother, everything. So that's really the challenge. Like aside from all the business and all the fancy stuff that sometimes comes with that, like I want to make sure that overall I'm a better person. And when you can take the same thing and teach it to others, and you change lives, like that's really, like it feels really good when someone tells you, like, hey, I've been doing better because of you. A lot of my mentees right now, like they've been getting a lot of wins, and that feels really special to me. Like aside from all the money that comes with it, like that's really the big win for me, because then they go and talk about me, and they express how I've helped them with their journey, and that's something that, it goes a long way. Like the reputation, that's when the brand even starts building itself more, because of your reputation. It's like a business, like my auto repair, like I really focus on the customer service. Customer service is everything. Sometimes people want to sometimes people want to have the cheaper product, or they want to have the best in town, but then the customer service is really horrible, but the product, let's say it's good, it doesn't work. It's hard to do it like that. You know, it's hard to do things while being the cheapest and not the best, obviously. Sometimes people are looking for good quality of product, and the customer service can kill it. And I'm really, when it comes to that, I'm really setting the bar really high for them, and they know that. And just being part of the chamber too, I always tell them, I'm like, you guys gotta make sure, like, not even just being the best shop in the area. Like, I'm talking about, like, I want to be the best in SoCal. You know, like, I'm thinking bigger. And it's something that I do. I'll share with you guys. Like, I'm very analytical. I like doing things that other people are not doing. So what we'll do with my team sometimes, with my service advisors, we'll sit down like around 5:30 before everyone closes, and we'll start calling all the shops around the area. We'll look at the way they answer. I'm like, oh, that was shitty service, you know. Or, and then we'll get prices. We'll compare prices. And that's kind of like starting you can say, the competition. And then I want to provide things that they're not providing. That way I stand out. And then that's another conversation I had yesterday. You know, when you think about Nike doesn't just sell shoes. You know, Nike sells a lot of products, socks, and a lot of products. If in the industry that I'm in right now, when I first started, it was just oil changes. I changed that. Now I do everything on the car, because the more convenient you become, one, you're gonna make more money, but two, like, it's better to go to one place where you're gonna do everything versus just go to one place for one thing, another place for another thing. And at the end of the day, the more services you can provide for the people, the more successful you're gonna be. But you gotta understand, once again, like, it's not gonna happen right away. And sometimes people try to rush it. They try to, like, they want the money fast, and they really want to, like, be the best right away, but it doesn't work like that. You know, it takes time for everything. So, like, that's something that I like doing. They like doing it now. They like to see, like, oh, let's see how they answer the phone today. Let's see what they have to say, you know. And it has helped us big time, because when it comes down to, like, when the people are shopping around, we know our competition's prices. So we know like we're the cheapest in town, or we already know we're beating their price. So it makes even easier to hit that sale when it needs to happen, because now, like, we're studying all the time. Every single week we meet twice a day. I mean, twice a week, and then one will call around, and the other one will do role play on different scenarios. You know, so that makes us better. Before, I didn't meet with people. We didn't do nothing like such thing as role play. You know, Cardone Ventures, they do this every single day. Like, I don't have that much time to be doing that, and I need to delegate that. I would like to have that at least every single day. You know, 15 minutes before the day starts. That's something that they do, and they start with wins. And, you know, going back to earlier when he was asking about wins, sometimes I feel like we're going for the big win. Like, everyone share their wins, but, like, at the end of the day, we're all winning right now. Like, we're here. You know, like, we woke up today. That's a huge win. And sometimes we oversee that. Like, we're so after the big win that we won that we forget, like, we're winning because we woke up. And we have to have that gratitude every morning that you wake up. Like, thank God. You know, thank God that you have a house, you have a car, if you have a family, whatever you have, thank Him. Because sometimes we're not able to get more because we're not grateful for the things that we have. Sometimes we want more money and we're not getting it, and we're mad because we're not getting more money. But it's because you're not appreciating what you have right now, you know? So for me, like, every time I wake up in the morning, like, I thank Him. You know, personal development, I read my audiobook, and the first 30 minutes of the day, like, I want to get better. I want to absorb more knowledge, you know? And when I do that, and I go to the gym too, like, it gives me so much energy. You know, my day started, like, very, very good, versus waking up in a rush, getting to the job site, whatever, you're already behind, getting, you know, phone calls with problems and things that you don't want to deal with. You spark, and then you're just making yourself a really bad day, because you're overreacting everything that's thrown at you, you know? So I think the main thing for me lately is, like, when there's a problem, it's just like, oh, I'll get to it, you know? And sometimes, like, she's like, how are you just chilling like this? Like, that's a big problem you have. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm not gonna die. Like, there's nothing big enough that's gonna change my mood right now, because that's only gonna make things worse, and it's gonna be a snowball effect with more problems. And I'm like, I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it later. There's always a solution to everything. So that's my mentality now, and obviously, like, I'm like you said, I'm huge on personal development, and I'm meeting people that I never thought that I would have met, opportunities like I never thought that I would have. Like today, I came from an interview at NBC. I didn't know that at the beginning of the year I was gonna be doing a TV show. Like I didn't know that, but now I'm being put in places where God has destined for me to be in. Like it's just part of my journey, you can say. But obviously, I've put in the work. I've done everything that's always in my hands, and I'm really grateful for everything that I get, good or bad. So that's pretty much all I have.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Just have a few questions for Nestor because he's a. And you guys all agree that he's a fountain of wisdom.
Yeah.
So we're about to go just real quick, no more than 10 minutes, and give a round of applause to his amazing wife here supporting him. Most of you guys are married, and you guys know the value of having a support system at home, that they get the vision, right? So just a few questions. Social media growth, one of the things that we have is some of the members here, they have a limiting belief conversation like, oh, they're not good on camera, this. You once kind of started off like that and you got over that. What do you have to say to those members?
Honestly, I'm with you on that. Like a year ago, I hated this. I hated the whole everyone looking at me. I'm like, damn, dude, like stop looking at me, But at the end of the day, if you have a business and if you're not on social media, no one knows you. Like, doesn't matter how good you are, what you do. Like, you're not gonna grow. If you just think about that, I'm going live. I hate going live, or I'm doing a post and I freaking hate doing the camera thing, but I'm doing it because I want my business to grow. I want my business to get known. You start becoming confident with it, and that only becomes a snowball effect when you're networking. Like it's easier to network with people, and people can feel the energy that you have. Why? Because you're comfortable now talking to people. You're confident in yourself, and I feel sometimes we hate the camera because we're not confident. And if that can be maybe because of the way we look, maybe the smile, it can be something personal that sometimes like we don't want to talk about because we just don't feel confident about. But I think for me, it was the main thing for me was accent. Dude, I sound like I sound dumb. I didn't like the way I sounded. I feel like people are gonna think like I'm talking stupid like that. I feel like my accent is really bad. Like there was so many excuses for me not to do the thing I was supposed to do. So it just got to the point like, you know what? Like everyone at the end of the day, they're gonna talk good or bad, and I'm just gonna do my thing. I'm gonna do it for my business. And it forced me to get out of my comfort zone. And yeah, I mean like the social media thing is crazy. Like on the auto repair side, like it's been doing really good. I can say right now, like probably 40% of my business comes from Instagram. And it's local, and it just comes with doing information. You gotta do reels, you gotta do reels. And it's not about like, forget about like, oh, $10 off today on this. Like, don't do that. Do information, like for example, on the auto side, like I talk about like, this is how you do this. And then today we had this, and then today we had that. Because sometimes I'm also teaching people how to do it themselves. And if I'm teaching someone how to do something, at some point, if they do it wrong, they're probably gonna come with me because like, well, no one else is really talking about what he's talking about. So it's not, when I do a reel, I don't expect all the customers to come in right away. I'm planting the seed because sometimes it takes more than 7 times to get a customer in the door. Maybe they hear about you, or maybe there's good reviews, but there's still something that they don't trust you in. So you gotta make sure the more you're posting on social media, different information, at some point there's gonna be a reel that they're gonna relate to. Something. That's why like everything that you post on social media, like you can't get discouraged because you have no likes. Like the likes are trash. Right now, like the posts that you see that they do good are the ones that they get comments. The comments, the shares. That's what I look for. When a video doesn't get a lot of shares or comments, I'm like, damn, dude, I gotta work on it. Like, what can I do better? Maybe I'll change a little bit of the information. On the auto side, I have it down. It's doing really well. The one I'm still playing with is the personal side. And I've been playing with it, and I'm seeing results. So I'm like, okay, I gotta do more of it. On the personal side, you gotta post more like personal stuff. What you do. If you like go hiking, like post about it. You work out, post working out. Like do the whole circle. Don't just like, if you're a loan officer or real estate, don't just talk about real estate. That's boring. People get bored about it, you know?
One of the things, in order to elevate, you gotta delegate. So what's one of the things that you've learned to delegate within your business that maybe at some point, like, oh, I don't know if I could trust the employers or the teams, but now you actually learn, like, you know what? It's best for you to delegate so you focus on the main thing. What's one of those things?
One of those things is, so we have a software, the CRM, it communicates with the customers. And that's something that I'm like, I have to be the one responding back, because I think I'm the one that sounds the best, you know? But that can be consuming, you know, because every day I have at least like 30 to 40 messages I have to reply back. So delegating that was like a really big weight off my shoulder, because now it's like, you don't understand like how much of a relationship trust is built, you know, when you're like actually communicating with a customer. Like they feel comfortable. Once again, no one else is doing that in my industry. No one's like sending you, like, if you go to visit my shop and you get a message like, hey, how's your car doing since your last visit? And not everyone replies back, but most of them do. And when they reply back, you know, we tell them, we give them gratitude, thank you for choosing us, anything that you need in the future, let us know, you know. And they like that. And it gets to a point where like they start referring people without me asking. And that's why that's doing really well.
One of the things that you started within less than 12 months is your course and getting people to sign up for your mentorship program. What are some of the things that you learned to like provide for those people as far as value and information to increase it? How many people do you currently have, and where did you start, just to get some inspiration to some of these people that are considering going the route of courses?
You know, like before I landed my first client, it took me about 3 months. We could talk about, you know, when you post and get no likes, like the same thing. Like I got really discouraged. I'm like, this is not for me. I mean, it does go through your mind, like, maybe this is not the right thing for me. But like, if it's not working, obviously it's like starting your new business. Like no one knows you do coaching. So it's my fault because people don't know. So that was my mentality. I'm like, I gotta expose myself, you know, I gotta talk more about it. Because sometimes we assume that, you know, Nick, let's say I assume Nick knows that I'm a business coach just because he likes my stuff. But maybe he likes my stuff just because, you know, we're friends, and maybe he doesn't even watch the whole stuff. And I'm assuming he knows. I'm like, well, he always likes it, you know? Well, that's something what happens. We assume so many things that, like, at the end of the day, we gotta make sure that we really let the person know of what we do. And now I think I have 11 in my group coaching.
Yeah.
And I've done 8 one-on-ones. So on the one-on-ones, I'm not trying to do too many either, because you know, it's time, and I want to make sure they get results. You know, so on that one, I'm just taking about like 1 a month, if anything. Especially now with the event, like it takes a lot of time. You know, so it's on the group coaching. It's honestly super simple. Everyone in here has a lot of knowledge. Everyone in here has a lot of knowledge. It's just really how you want to pass it on to other people. Like you can charge for knowledge, but you just gotta know how to, and it's gonna work a little bit differently maybe for everyone, because the way we teach sometimes it has to change. You know, you have to adapt. You know, if you're teaching and people are not really, you know, working like that, like maybe you should start doing the sheets. You know, maybe you should start doing a questionnaire, or like you gotta change it up and see what's gonna be good for your students. So I use a school community, and it's been really good. Like,
you want to spell it out for people that aren't
SKOOL.
A lot of the top people are using School, guys. It's a great platform. So with that being said, where can people find you? Where can people reach out to you if they want to speak to you?
On Instagram, I'm the Nestor Gutierrez.
It's on the paper.
It's in the paper, yeah.
All right, guys. With that being
Appreciate
said,
it.
Awesome. So let's give it up for Nestor.
How many of you guys got some good nuggets from that? Man, I have 2 pages of notes of good stuff. One thing I want to say is, even though you really see the quality that he brings and applies to his life, I want all you guys to go to Rancho Express Lube and get your car taken care of there. I was blown away at the customer service, and you really see the processes that he's put in place. And George, the guy at the front, is amazing, and everybody has great quality customer service. You can see like the system that he put in place is top of the line. So I really recommend checking it out. So thank you very much. It was amazing.
Appreciate it.
So every month, we love to expand our limit of what's possible. So we can only grow to the limit of where we are exposed to people in our life, outside sources. So every single month, I bring in special guest speakers to break past those limits. They're not always from the same industry. They could be somebody that's totally random, but it's going to help you break that lid in different areas to know that bigger things are possible for your life. So the next thing that we're going to do is the group mastermind part. And I love this part because this is where the juices start flowing. This is where the ideas start exchanging. And let's say you have a challenge in your business. This is where you can get those resources and those ideas from a different perspective. So tonight we're going to do a little bit differently. We're going to do, since we have so many people in the room, we're going to start with the members only. And if we have time left over, we'll have the guests bring their knowledge and resources. So you're going to pick one of these topics. So the first one is, what's the biggest dream or goal that you'd like to accomplish in your life? That big dream, that big goal that you want to accomplish in life. That's option one. Option two is, what is a great business idea that you've had, but you never implemented? There's a lot of great ideas in this room that never been implemented. And why haven't you implemented it? The third question is, what's one main challenge in your business, and what resources, people, systems do you need to overcome that challenge? Or if you just want to get some perspective on a challenge or something you're working on, that's the place to do it. Or if you don't have any of those, what's one amazing resource, app, software, or system you've implemented that you can recommend to others? So we'll go ahead and get started with you, Tim.
Cool. I'm gonna go with the last one there, and I read a book called 12-Week Year recently, and my first go at the 12-week year started 2 weeks ago. This is my second week, and I gotta say it's been a game changer where I basically am focusing on. I picked 2 goals to start with. They recommend anywhere between 1 and 3 that you're laser focused on for 12 weeks. And when you focus on goals for 12 weeks, every minute, every second, every day counts to achieve that goal at the end. And, my goal is I have one fitness goal or health goal. And then one goal is to be more consistent with my reaching out and meeting with real estate agents, because those are my biggest referral sources. And just in the week and a half that I've been doing it, I've already noticed a substantial difference in the way that I'm operating on a day-to-day basis, because I'm literally looking at my numbers every single day. So I'd recommend highly checking that book out. Yeah, right there. 12-week year.
Thank you. Oh, you mentioned.
So I have kind of an odd one. So what's my biggest dream or goal that I'd like to accomplish in my life? I want to become Bob Rivera. So Bob Rivera was a speech coach that I had in college my freshman year. I was broke, and he was kind of the founder of Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity I was in. And Bob's whole thing was he was a community person. So if you ever had a problem, if there's anything you ever needed, you could go to Bob and you could talk to him and he'd help you out. And one time I was so broke, he had found out about it and gave me $20 so I could go get lunch as a professor. And I always thought Bob was kind of cool. And about 10 years later, he died, and I went to his funeral. And when I went to his funeral, it was in a little chapel, and there was about 3,500 people there. You couldn't get into the chapel. People were standing outside, right, just to be present for his funeral. And I thought to myself, man, if I could have half of that, right? So that's kind of been my goal ever since I stopped worrying about money, and I started focusing on how can I help and how can I contribute. So I want to be part of it.
Alejandro?
So I'll take the first one. My biggest dream or goal that I'm trying to accomplish is actually to have a nonprofit for single moms. How that came about is being a single mom, but also honoring my mother that raised me as a single mom. And this came to me last year. God gave me the vision when my kids had grown, and they were the main reason why I would do what I did. I've been in business for 13 years. But I just started to feel like, what am I doing things for now? Because they're grown, independent, and they don't need as much of me anymore. So then it came to my mindset, like what I want to do is help single moms elevate into entrepreneurship so that they could be the ones to drop off the kids and pick them up. But also go a little bit further than that is creating the nonprofit to be able to help them sometimes pay for the first month's rent, get a certificate, and things like that, because a lot of times single moms, when they're going through so much, it could mean that one certificate to get them into a new position and make sure that they can keep their children. At times, there's just different reasons why single moms go through stuff and why kids end up in the system. So that's my biggest goal, and actually that's what I'm like. I like what you said about the 12 weeks, right?
12 year,
weeks.
yeah.
One of the things is I could put that in a 12-week to get that nonprofit rolling and being able to execute them on that.
Amazing. Love it. How about you, Ansel?
Well, what we're working on in Los Angeles, the reason, or one of the reasons why I chose one of my business partners is because he has a 20-year career of working with the community, working with homeless programs, working with empowering the community for the most part. So something that I want to accomplish overall and in general with the business that I'm a part of, or what I do on the side, is essentially give to the community, watch programs to help grow individuals that could be victims to the streets, for example, or people that have been disenfranchised in a bad way, right? People that have grown up in gang culture, people that have been educated by negative community influences. I'd like to shape them in a better way.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks. Jonathan.
I'm gonna go with what is the great business idea you had but never implemented, and why? Because it's hard. Business is hard, and nobody documents anything. So the best way that I'm able to grow and I'm being growing, it's having scripts and documenting every position. But the thing that I haven't been able to implement, it's like business, like modules, like SOPs, and I'm working on all the scripts. And for my business, because there's different positions, it's a painting business. So it's hard to deal with people. We have trainees, apprentices, painters, crew leaders, supervisors, estimators. So right now we're working on the scripts, and then I'm gonna report all the modules so I can scale the business into different areas. So document and create modules so you can scale.
Can I just offer some feedback?
Yeah.
So there's a saying that you should only focus on the top 20% of SOPs that are actually meet the most meaning.
Right.
Because you can't do them all, right? Like you said, very different. So,
Exactly.
yeah, so the top 20% is kind of the go-to. And sometimes, most of the time, it's usually enough.
Yeah, because the 20 drives the 80%.
Oh, yeah.
And I use Loom. I don't know if you heard about it. It makes it really easy. Like, you can just like show them how to like navigate, in the computer, whatever. Like just talk about it. It's really helpful.
Yeah, and by the way, Loom, they added the SOP feature that they give you all the details. So now they added, it's like $3 more for your membership. It gives you a conclusion of everything you're saying that, and break it down, and even figure out where the problem and the solution. So it's AI powered now. So yeah, that was
Interesting. And I use Notion.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, my biggest dream is to open up a webcomic studio. It's far in the future, but I need to get the finances to start doing something like that. I'm gonna build up the structure, which has been really good considering that I'm working with Jonathan. He's kind of figuring all this stuff out about how to manage people and how to manage and how to create positions. And so learning all that has made me realize, hey, maybe one day when I have the capabilities, the cash flow to do so, I can make that. The last one, I don't know if it's a program or a system. I guess it'd be a system, but it's like a lot of discipline, almost like military style, but daily schedule. It's helped me a lot, like really sticking to it. And of course, that's based off of my goals. So it'd be, that whole system, the goals and everything, but really attending to it, really attending to it. And if you get off a little bit here and there, just, having the mindset to go back to it, not think of it as like a failure or something like that, but continuing to keep this in your life
ongoing, and I mean, it's really like tripled, quadrupled, you know, whatever, everything that I do, fitness to business to the calls I make, and then obviously the production that comes with that. So it's good.
So is it an app or something you use, or
No,
just
no,
your structure?
Yeah, just a structure. And I mean, you know, if you need some type of foundation or something, there's so much stuff online, you know, goal setting, time management, just the basic things, you know, that I think they're basic, but we forget, you know, use them, and it can really, really do wonders for, you know, production for sure.
Yeah, first, I want to give testimonial to your business. I went there, and honestly, I felt the discipline in there, right, with the employees, and I was expected something like that because I know what you're doing. But the way they were dealing with my situation, I took my wife's car there. They explained everything, the time, how long it's gonna take. This is very important for me, and how much it's gonna cost, and what options. Even they didn't replace my water tank sensor because they told me it's so good, and they didn't like just want to sell. So that was really good. Thank you.
Appreciate
I
it,
can feel
man.
it.
Thank you.
And also the system, I got an email follow up, and still now I'm on the list. So you're doing great.
Everything's working.
My biggest dream or goal is I want to be influencer. And when I say that, it's not just for fame. I want to influence others to know the true self and know the true meaning why we're here, and to be aware that it's not only about us or me, it's about all of us together. Because we cannot, when we say we want to be wealthy or rich, it's not about us. Becoming rich is a result of something we do, and we do it for others to become better and elevate the whole consciousness of everyone, not about me. So I want to be influencer to share my stories and how to change my habits, and how to change habits, because habits build characters. Especially people, I used to smoke, I used to drink, I used to do a lot of stuff that doesn't serve me anymore. So I want to influence others with these things. Thank you.
So my biggest dream, I guess one of my biggest dreams, one of the things I enjoy doing is actually like getting back to the community and stuff. I remember being in, I think I was in high school, you know, back when St. Jude's had a commercial come on. It was super emotional. And I remember looking at that and I was like, man, one day I want to be able to donate. And so that's something that I actually incorporated into my life insurance agency, where every month I donate a percentage to them and another charity. But my biggest dream is essentially to get to a point where I can give a really large sum of donations to different organizations, because there's a lot of nonprofits and organizations and charities out there that are doing some awesome stuff. And so, yeah, that's my one of my biggest interests.
See, one of the main challenges that I'm glad that I resolved was for anybody that's in the coaching and mentorship, was the financial part of getting clients, because I get clients that could invest, but they don't have the money at the time. So sometimes it's like, okay, let's work out a payment plan or something like that. But yeah, that doesn't really work out anymore, because I'm the type of person that I like to commit. And this is one thing I respect about people like Nestor. Like, I make all-in investments, right? Like all-in investments, all-in commitment. But I was breaking that with clients working on payment plans. So oftentimes it's just like broken promises per se. And that's on me, you know, because I need to value myself. So I resolved it, and one of the things that I did was I went back to, because I'm about to finally return on social media after 7 months, guys. I did a social media fast of not posting. I had to learn how to work on the business instead of work in the business, because I kept on doing the same things that doesn't work. The way I resolved it was, one, I reached out to someone in the mastermind, and I decided to do 150 messages, because this person is more on the analytical side. And she said she knows what are my numbers, and I said, I don't know my numbers. So 2 Saturdays in a row that I sent at least 150 messages, knowing that from the past that generates anywhere between 10 to 20K, I'm now having 10 to 20K conversations. And I also resolved the financial part of it, so I'm anticipating now that with this strategy, it'll generate me an extra 10 to 20K pretty soon. Once I solve this for me and I continue to see this, I'll provide that information for you guys, because I like to lead by example. First, let me resolve it, come with proof of concept. Hey, now I have 100K in a month. I can help you guys with that. And the other thing is I'm gonna reinvest in mentorship with Dr. Richard Martinez, which is somebody who I shared this issue with, because it's like something that a lot of us could resolve, right? How can we help more people but solve the money thing, right? There's plenty of options out there. And he said he dealt with the same thing, so I already booked my consultation with him. So all my solutions came from speaking up, but within the mastermind. So I'm pumped up for the results that are coming.
I have something to say.
Go ahead.
So, for my business, I have financing, and so I have a partnership with Sherry Financing. I don't know if maybe it will apply to your business. So the customers that don't have the cash up front, they do the business through Cherry Financing, and I get paid in 2 days.
Yeah.
Also I have Square. I'm pretty sure everybody knows about that. And so if they have a personal credit card, then they can pay you and then you get paid in 3 days.
Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. There's options out there. Okay, there's plenty. You just gotta find the one that works for you. I know, like Albert Preciado, who's one of the speakers here. He has it too, where it's specifically for business owners. They get qualified, and then within 24 hours, the money's in your account. So speed is important, because most of these people that I work with, they want to make that 10K investment, but they just don't have the access, right? But it's cool to finally solve that, because then that the capital that's going to come in, I'm going to reinvest it. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it, sir.
All right. Well, on a couple other notes, Alejandro, my mother was a single mother. There are some times early on where we could have used something like that, a nonprofit like that. She did end up being a business owner as she moved forward, and she's kind of been the inspiration in a lot of what I do. So that's awesome.
Thank you.
Tim, the book 12-Week Year, I've seen it a lot, but I haven't read it yet. One book that really hit me that I need to revisit is The Power of One More by Ed Milet. I don't know if everyone's read that or not.
Can you give a little insight on that book? What do you like?
Well, it's I'm a recovering alcoholic. Ed Milet's father was a recovering alcoholic, and he goes into depth about how his father, once he sobered up, he made his life helping others stay sober. And the power of one more is, and I need to get back to this in my workouts, in my daily routine, in business, is that just do that one more thing, whether it's a nice gesture, whether it's one more lap around the track, one more rep in the gym, one more phone call, just go that extra step. And he breaks down, I don't remember it because I read it about 2 years ago, but there's what the 12-week year reminded me of is he breaks it down days into 2 days.
Yeah.
So that was powerful. And that was in a podcast, I believe. Was it John Maxwell? I don't remember who the podcast was with.
I think it was Ramping Up.
Was it? Yeah, I know I'm sure he's been on a lot.
And on that one too, guys, just to add to it, because I believe we all value strategy. Hey, what can I implement? If you haven't read it or listened to Max Out by Ed Milet, that's the book that breaks down his AM route, what he does in the AM, what he does in the PM, why he does the cold shower, what he does in the evening. Highly suggested. I listened to that one multiple times over, And then I listen from a point of a coach perspective. Like, let me get into the psychology of the person. So at the very end, he says that he has this idea, and he's a man of faith, by the way. He has this idea that when he passes away, he's gonna meet the best version of himself, and they're both just gonna hug it out and be like, hey, I accomplished everything. Not to say that that's the way it's gonna work out, guys, but that's his mindset of why he keeps on going. Because he doesn't want, it's the fear of, he doesn't want to see that version of himself like, I messed it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As far as structuring my day, I set alarms throughout the day. So I have from the time I wake up, there'll probably be one that goes off in a minute. Sorry. But yeah, I set alarms throughout the day.
Show. He has an alarm by the hour. Not to wake up. How many of you guys have like supposed to wake up? Yeah.
So,
No,
yeah.
just
Yeah.
once that.
You guys remember those nineties alarms that? Yeah.
But I do, my biggest dream, is to start a worship retreat. I've always wanted, I've loved Montana my whole life. I played baseball there when I was 16, 17, and 18. And ever since then, I've wanted to own a place up there. And then once I joined the worship team with my church, the idea of having a retreat there with cabins, with wildlife, animals, horses, and a place for worship teams from all over the country, the world, go there to have a time to create and be away and in nature and with God.
Beautiful. Nice.
Well, I'll go with my biggest dream and goal. Up to 3 years ago, my life wasn't the same as I have it today. My biggest dream was some of the alarms went off right now. So the biggest dream was I woke up to a very deep dream one day, telling me like I have to change my lifestyle into a different, more elevated, intellectual lifestyle that I had before. So I was digging online and seeing what's the difference I could make for myself first, so I can spread that out. And I found a city in India called Outerville, and that was ever since my point of reference to go and visit. But the key and the catch is that it's not like just go and visit and that. You have to spend 3 months of your life over there. And then after that, if you're willing and you can be adaptable to the lifestyle they have, then you would go on and live and change your life. Otherwise, you'd be not a member of that, because they're not related to a country or citizenship or background or whatever you are from or where you're from. It's related just to you as a human connected with Mother Earth. And that's what my biggest dream, and I want to accomplish it one day. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, Outerville. Yep.
Outerville. Ivan.
My turn. I'll go with the first one. I just want to maybe get invited to like teach a class internationally. Doesn't matter where, as long as it's outside of California.
There you go. How many people?
No, just a class, Yeah. That's it.
All right, I like that. So my biggest dream, and I'm working in it at this moment, is to create a mastermind group globally to be able to help people tap into their full potential by connecting other people. And yeah, so it's kind of unraveling as we speak and in this moment. And thanks to everybody here and, bringing Mitch as an advisor and just where we're going, it's going to happen. But the other little hack that I got, which is such a simple hack, but it's changed my life, is this little timer. Like, you plan out your day. Like, one of the biggest things is you got to plan out your day on paper before you live it. Yeah. So doing it the day before and writing down all the tasks and then how many minutes you think it's going to take you, and then just push it a little bit, like less. And then every single task, I set this timer and I try to beat the timer. And I got this from Mitch. And it's been actually one of the biggest. Tim. Oh, sorry, Tim. They're almost like the same. You look alike. But this is a game changer. If you guys start using it, it works. So.
You bought on Amazon?
Yeah, it's like $15 or something, but it's worth millions.
Would it? I love it. I'm trying to beat that buzzer every time. I'm like, let's turn that thing on.
I got the same one. We're gonna go with
I think I'll go with the last one.
All right, go for it. All right, we got two more and we'll fill it off.
So I think the last one, I'm gonna go with the last one. Basically, it's kind of similar to Nick's. One of my biggest challenges was like overdoing a piece of work, or whether it's making content, whether it's making sales calls, whatever it is. So instead of making a to-do list, I made a not to-do list. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure if anyone else has this problem, but just like, you want to do that task, but you overdo it. Then it's like, what about these other 5 things you had to do throughout the day? So what I ended up doing is I started working on the hardest thing in the morning just to get it over with. Once that was over and done with, I felt like the rest of the day was easy. And then I implemented my not to-do list. And that I swear, like over a month span, I just 10x my workflow from that. Wow. Me personally, I mean, it's just helped me so much just to like cut it off onto the next thing. And instead of just working on a piece of content all day, it would just be spread it out throughout the whole week. And I just felt more energized and rejuvenated from that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
There's something to be said about, I guess some people call it a parking lot or whatever, but actually getting it out of your head and onto paper, and then just doing the ones that you have to do. I don't know why.
Well, what I do is I learned this too from Albert. Make a line, and then on the left side do like all the things that you're doing right now that are not making your business grow, or like not making you a better person, or not making you any money. It can be like, oh, spending too much time on social media. It can be like just little silly things, and then move those things to the right, where like doing the things on the right side, like what, I'm not gonna spend so much time on social media. Instead, I'm gonna read an audiobook. Like make those wins where like it's gonna help you get to where you want to get, or it's gonna make you better, or somehow it's gonna help you achieve your goal.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Quick share, for this, I just, studying Time of Your Life with Tony Robbins, and he mentioned about, urgent list and important list.
Correct.
Our mind
Correct.
focus on the urgent list and it stresses us out, right? But if we focus on what is important, this is what moves the needle for us, not the urgent. Urgent, there's a lot of things. If you have a meeting and your phone rings, it's urgent, but it's not important. So we don't have to answer the phone. And we get used to this lifestyle. We focus on the important list, not the urgent. So yeah, I'm studying this now, and I'm very happy. I'm excited.
Time of Your Life.
Time of Your Life.
By
Yeah.
Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
It's not a song by Frank Sinatra.
So Nestor brought that up in his talk, right?
Right.
Yeah, so Nestor's talking about the idea that, that something is coming to him and it's urgent, but he knows he's gonna have to deal with it when he wants to. And this is a problem we all lose, especially as business owners, is that this is all we do, we solve problems, right? So you have to pick which ones you're gonna deal with, and if they're not going to do something beneficial, it doesn't even need to be dealt with most of the time. But our brains don't make those decisions right all the time.
How about you, Nestor?
For me, I think it's the first one. My biggest dream or goal is like really to leave a legacy behind. Like make an impact in people's lives, and then have that last name be remembered. After I die and whatnot. So that's my biggest thing. That's why I'm super excited. I'm really grateful I have a daughter, but really excited for my son too. I want both of them to kind of like take it to the next level, and like make sure that the name keeps going on. So, yeah.
And did you
Mike?
Or were you in the room?
All right. So I do have a book to share too, but I think one thing that in the nature of the business that I'm in is marketing, and there's so many different channels of marketing that I've always kind of learned a little bit here, and I've learned a little bit of everything in marketing, to where I started my own business, and then I tried this, I tried that, and I got good at all this stuff, and I really kind of I've come to the point where I'm tapped out, and I'm focusing in on one thing, and now I'm like outsourcing. Like I know how to build funnels, I know how to do all that stuff, build websites, but I don't have time to do that because I'm focusing in on right now filming, which I'm trying to put that aside too, but that's a really hard thing for me to delegate, because I've worked with different cinematographers, and the same thing happens. They have the same mindset I do. They're creative, they want to work for themselves, and they're entrepreneur mindset. So it's hard to keep these people in.
Yeah.
Typically they'll come, they learn the structure of my business, they go off and start using my structure. And that's happened to me 3 different times in the past couple of years. So I'm in a nature of like, to where if you have a car place, most of the guys aren't going to go and start there. It takes a lot of hard work to do that. But filmography is like, these guys are already going, they already have the knowledge. So it's different, right? So I find myself struggling with that. And if I didn't want to hire somebody to go and help do work for me, well, now I have to charge my clients a lot more, because I have to make some type of money off of it, and they're charging me more. So I'm in a place with that. So delegating videos, editing is not a big deal, but the videos, the physical videos, plus being that guy like you, being that guy to my clients want to deal with me.
Yep.
They don't want some other person going in there. They like the relationship with me. So I really find myself in this position where I need to focus in on one thing, not filming, coaching, funnel building, websites, graphic design, printing, and all these things that I'm good at, but focusing on one thing. I saw this video, it made a lot of sense. The guy said, a lot of people mistake what millionaires say when they say they have multiple streams of revenue. Yes, they do, but they didn't develop them all at the same time. And he set out a bunch of cups and he said, this is you, you're pouring a little bit in all these different things. Not one cup is going to be filled up.
Yep.
Millionaires fill up one cup first until it overflows. Once it overflows, they know, okay, now I can move on to the next cup. And that hit me because I'm like, I need to focus on one cup, not all these cups, because I'm good at a lot of things. And a lot of us are multi-talented, but that one cup needs to overflow before I can move on to the next thing. And now I'll start seeing more success in my life. Because I'm making money to support my kids, have a house and do well, but I want to level up. And the way I gotta do that is to delegate. So I'm outsourcing things now. You know, I want to talk to you later too. I'm outsourcing things now to be able to do that. But I think my struggle is gonna be with the filming, because that really
I
helps
was gonna
run
have a
this stuff.
suggestion.
Yeah.
I know we're very, very different industries, but at the same time, business is business,
Right.
right? So what happens in the insurance industry is that when you are a broker and you're gonna have people come on board and you're gonna mentor them, from the beginning, you're taking a percentage of their work.
Got it.
So that would create the additional revenue. You would bring them on knowing, but laying it out from the front, you're going to do so good, you're going to start your business.
Right.
But now you're gonna have a percentage of that business.
That's good.
So-
Yeah,
That's really
that's
good.
really good, because
That is
I,
good.
I think she's right on that, and I think what you should do is to like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, what role do you want to be in? You know, kind of.
I will not be filming.
Yeah, so I would say start working towards that. Like, what does that mean? You know, like, do I need to bring in 2 videographers or whatever you gotta do? Like, start planting the seed where you know that in 5 years, like, you see it clearly. Like, I'm only gonna be the CEO. I'm gonna have 3 other businesses in California or whatever. And like she said, it's really good because obviously everyone wants to win. You know, we all want to win. The people come in and work for you. They learn everything and they leave because they want more. You know. But what about, like you said, give them a percentage where, like, hey, you know what, like, you can make more with me. We can make this bigger. You guys can become business partners. I think it just changes the whole perspective of the thing that you're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And also there's a bit of a limiting belief in a sense, and having personally experienced that, that's why I heard it when you said it.
Yeah.
That I'm so afraid to bring in videographers. Somebody teach them my secret sauce, that they're gonna take that and start their own thing. At some point, you need to understand that there's a big difference between being a business owner and being the guy running operations. And right now, you're the guy running operations. And when you make that switch into realizing I need to become better at being a business owner than I am at making videos or content or funnels or all that stuff, and your staff see what it takes to truly be a business owner, they're gonna see, I don't want that. And you're gonna stop being creative. You're gonna be a creative in terms of building systems, processes, revenue, cultivating people, things like that. And that's how you're going to build your empire. You're not gonna build it by making content for your clients.
Right.
And so there's gonna be entrepreneurs and there's gonna be intrapreneurs. And the intrapreneurs, those are the people that could leave you and try to be a business owner, but they're gonna be stuck in the land of working in their business. Or they can be entrepreneurs where, kind of what you were saying, partner, bring them in and say, what are your dreams? And then make your vision so big that even their dreams can fit inside those.
Yeah, because in 2024, like, this is why I always look, I don't want referrals these days. I want business partnerships, and it's always percentages, right? Because it's like, it's a big puzzle we're trying to solve. So if you want to get, it's very tough when people have like a business where it's like, they only want to work by the hour, for the hour. So that means like, they don't really care about your business. It's actually better when they're invested and they would rather either work commission or with a vision of a percentage, like, hey, they own 10% of something. Because at the end of the day, you are Believer. Like, no one could ever take that away from you. Believer Media is something that, like, hey, and one of the things that I've learned being with Dr. Jason and just like talking business is like agreements make things for great things. And there's a saying in Spanish, cuentas claras, amistades largas, right? So like everything's clear down to the point, and that's that. So I think that you're in a position now to elevate.
Yeah.
But now you gotta delegate with the importance of,
Delegate
like,
to elevate.
It's not all about, well, that's what
It's a t-shirt right
that's what
there.
that's what I tell everybody. And then one of the lessons that I learned interviewing realtors is I asked Remo the realtor, I don't know if you have any heard of Remo the Realtor?
Everything
That's
the same
familiar?
is right.
So that guy, I asked him, what would you do different now? He said, honestly, he would go back and not brand himself as Remo the Realtor because everybody wants to work with him. Instead, he would have something like that's like a name that just brings him the business because what good does it do for getting all these leads? But everybody wants to take up his time,
Right.
And they don't trust the agents underneath them.
Yeah.
Right? So the good thing is that you have Believer Media,
right?
You could always have something like underneath it just to protect like Believer Media.
Yeah.
Can I say something too?
Yeah.
This is gonna be harsh, but and not directed at you. This is something that was told to me by my buddy Justin Brown, who's kind of the direction that I want to go with my business as a mortgage person. And he said, dude, you're not a special flower. Like he's like, if you're so good at whatever you think you're so good at that no one else can do, you should be able to teach someone to do that at a level high enough that you can delegate that to them.
Right.
So I think creating what he's done, which I'm working on, has created all those SOPs and the different manuals and training things and ways to monitor it from a distance and stuff where he doesn't even talk to anyone anymore.
Yeah.
He's literally completely removed from the mortgage industry. It's still his company but everyone comes in and they talk to Yuri or this guy or that guy and they all are representing him and now he's off building an empire. So
and then one of the things that Alex Hormozy talks about in $1 Million Leads is like his biggest what was his biggest fear was giving out all the sauce, but that's what made him the most money.
Right.
And then teaching other people and paying a course. So sometimes if you've already had 3 people take your stuff and even create a business out of that, man, like teach the people and make a course, give it away. And then one thing that I've noticed is when you give everything away that you thought was making you special and you drink the Kool-Aid that's what makes you cool, it leaves room to grow and learn. So like that's one thing. So
well, most of the time, that's one of my strategies. A big strategy for a lot of people, like you touched on it today too, with giving the value to people for free, showing them exactly how to do something, and then when they go try it, they don't have the skill or they don't have the time. And then they're just like, you know what, this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm just gonna hire you. How much? And then that's how you're giving it out for free, and then you're gaining customers from it. So I use that. I believe in that, and I think for me, I need to level up because I'm onto something different with the social media coaching and the way that I do it. Nobody else is really. I haven't seen anybody else doing and showing the same things. You're really onto it, by the way.
Thank you.
And that's the paradigm shift.
Yeah.
And I've been ahead of it. I've been coaching this for 2 years. And now it's finally starting to people are starting to get it. So I need to stay ahead of that. And what's making me fall behind is having to film, having to pay the bills with filming and all that other stuff, graphic design, logos and all that. So yeah, great information.
Hormozy said it like, so give the information, sell the accountability.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
And then this book is amazing for brands. Okay, this guy, his name is Marty Neumeier. This is the 3rd version. He hasn't rewrote it, but this one is up to date. This guy I'll just name a couple of his clients: Adobe, Apple, Hewlett Packard, Microsoft. He's big time in the brand game, and he's been around. He's one of the original OGs. But this book is very up to date, and what he explains here is that companies no longer, they don't have to market what they're selling. They have to build tribes, and the tribes sell it for them. The clients are in control of that now because of social media. So there's 10 things. I don't know how much time I have, but it's real quick. 1, power has shifted from the companies to the customers. People are not focused on products, but meaning. Customers buy products to build their identities. They hate being sold, but they love to buy. They buy in tribes to feel safe and successful. The battle is no longer between companies, but tribes. The company with the strongest tribe wins. Tribes are connected through technology. Brands need to flow through multiple technologies. The most successful brands are not static, but fluid. And that is the shift in the market for all businesses. Social media has came in and changed the game. So it's about your vibe attracts your tribe, right? And customer service, I want to commend you on that. I haven't used you yet, but I do need an oil change. So here I come. Customer service is I'm still getting customers. I spent 14 years in the restaurant industry and succeeded a lot because I had good customer service. Now you can't go anywhere and find good customer service except for his spot. So,
And
I appreciate it.
Mine too. And it comes with a car wash.
I go for the car wash, got a customer.
Oh, go ahead.
So I just wanted to share one thing because I've heard it now, I've heard it twice today from two different businesses. And this idea that people can come and take your business and leave, right? So you train them, they come and take your business, your ideas, and they leave. The only solution is to create an operating environment where you excel at doing what those people won't do, right? If it's the sales, if it's the lead, if it's the equipment, if it's the SOP, right? Those are the strategies that we can all put into place that are unique from our perspective as individual, and also from the business that we're in, is to analyze it, to see what those 3 or 4 qualifying components are that are probably the most difficult thing that you do that makes you successful. And that's where you focus, because those people will be attracted to working for a company that does those things because they won't do it. Whether it's pay or service or whatever makes you unique, that is what you kind of have to focus on and grow. Because once you do that, the right people will stay and they're not going to leave. And if they do leave it, it's a life change or a life event. It's not because they don't want to be working with you. So anyhow, I just wanted to share.
There's some nuggets here tonight. So I brought a couple books and I didn't have anybody in particular I was going to give it to. I was just going to figure out who it makes sense for. So have you read The E-Myth? All right, this is for you. It has a little water stuff on it, but it's brand new. It's brand new though. If you haven't read The E-Myth and you're a business owner with employees and want to not be the solopreneur, that's a great book. That's the beginning classic book. And then if anybody likes reading with like quotes, and this book is really good. It's more of like a philosophy sort of mindset. Naval Ravikant, Naval. So if anybody wants this book,
I have it.
I got 2 big books.
I was still trying to figure out what it's about.
It's a really good book.
All right.
Yeah.
It is a really good book. It's a little different. We have plenty. I have it all in the office. Oh yeah.
Only if you have good notes today.
All right. So before we wrap up, we have a lot of amazing things coming up. Like we have probably 2 months full of amazing things. So I'm going to go over it real quick. You guys also have it in your packet. But next, July 16th, on Tuesday, we have an accountability call. Every Tuesday, we have our coaching and accountability calls. One thing that's kind of a little bit more exciting is we bring in a special guest person to pick their mind and brain, and that's actually working really well. But this Tuesday, we have a special one. We have Dr. Richard Martinez. He's going to be going over the art of people reading, how to connect more and earn more in your business by connecting with people on a people reading level. This gentleman, he's spoken to hundreds of thousands of people worldwide. He's a brilliant man, and I highly recommend you guys jumping on that Zoom call on Tuesday. Then next week, is it next week? No. Yeah. Next week. Next Thursday in Temecula, our Temecula chapter, we have Mitch Morris speaking about the requirements of sustainable growth. And for those of you who don't know Mitch, he's not only has a consulting business and many different businesses that he built from, or he's been a part of many huge organizations, building it from the ground up to millions and millions of, is it hundreds of millions? I don't know. $100 million businesses, but he is also one of the adjunct professors at Cal State San Bernardino, the entrepreneurial business program. So a wealth of knowledge that you're going to get at that event. July 25th and July 29th, we have Instagram Live with Richard Martinez. He's going to be adding so much value. So I highly recommend that you guys jump on that, because it's going to be half an hour of just value that people would pay thousands of dollars for. And then July 25th, Mike Hardy, he's not only been a good friend, we've done a lot of big hikes together, but he runs a company that manages over $500 million in investments. He's an amazing guy. He not only has done an Ironman, he's a a pilot. He's an amazing guy, and he's going to teach you the business power, the core four before you hit the door. It's these 4 pillars in your life, how to really have the power before you get into the workday. And it's super powerful. And then I'm not going to go over all of it, but the biggest one that is on the top of my mind day and in the middle of the night is Infinite Growth Expo. So the Infinite Growth Expo, the reason why this is so meaningful to us, because this idea sparked in a conversation in the mastermind group. Nestor had the idea that he wanted to put on a large event. I had that in my heart, and same with Jesse. And we came together and created the Infinite Growth Expo last year. We had Albert Preciado, a lot of great speakers, and it was a really great success. And this year we're expecting 800 to 1,000 people there. We have Tim Story, which the cool thing about Nestor is he's created these relationships with Tim Story and had the conversations with David Meltzer, Greg Reed, and all these people are all connections from starting with the mastermind group and just an idea. So any ideas that you have here, it can come to fruition with the right energy and the right people. And so the Infinite Growth X, if you don't have a ticket, it's going to be an amazing day. We actually met with a lady and a company last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't know, time's flying so fast. But when you come in as a guest, you're going to get an experience like you've never had as a guest, just entering the area to network and stuff like that, even before you get to the event. So it's going to be something really special. And the high quality networking that you're going to get there is going to be bar none. So
can I add a little bit?
Yeah, please do.
Sure. Yesterday, I also I met another person through Tim's story. His name is Bruce Cardenas, and he made an exit with you guys maybe know Quest Nutrition Bar. Sold over $1 billion cash, and now they're starting legendary protein bars. Well, he's gonna be bringing all his protein bars, and you guys can also have access to talk to them at the event. I mean, to make a exit that big, like the guy has a lot of knowledge, you know. So it's gonna be filled up with a lot of people. Yeah, he sold Quest. Yeah,
For $1 billion.
over $1 billion. Yeah,
I'll tell you, we're state of broke everywhere.
Oh yeah, my wife.
Yeah, so now they're starting. They're starting Legendary Foods. I think that's the name of it. But he's gonna bring a lot of products, and he was really excited to be part of it, just because you know Tim and everyone else is gonna be part of that. So yeah.
And as a side note, if you ever buy a company from somebody, make sure they sign the non-compete so they don't start another company, right?
That's something that they talked about yesterday. Yeah. That they did sign something that it wasn't gonna be direct competition, but
5 years. Yeah. Good for them though.
So one of the great things about the IE Mastermind Group is that you get to connect and work and collaborate with people that you can trust. That Jesse and I, we do a good job, and we kind of really put the effort in, you know, weeding people out. It's not for everybody. We don't want everybody here. We want the people who are growth minded, who are willing to contribute, who know that there's bigger things out there and they don't have to hoard their secrets to themselves. So that's the great thing about surrounding yourself with the right people. Something I came across today says, surround yourself with those who elevate your thinking, challenge your limits, and inspire your growth. So you want to surround yourself with people like that. So we're pretty much done. For those of you who would like to get some additional information, questions answered, you guys can stay in the room for a few minutes and we'll kind of go over all the details of how to be a part of the IE Mastermind Group. And those of you who are members already, you can go outside and start networking and exchanging information. You want to say anything before
Yeah, for anybody that, most of you guys already bought a general admission ticket. So for anybody that upgrades to the CEO ticket, we'll give you 2 extra general admission tickets, okay? So make sure that you want to be there. Go ahead, bro.
I'll make it sweeter. To add on top of that, I'm gonna go to a mastermind at SoFi Stadium on Monday. So anyone that gets a CEO ticket, I'll bring you with me. I only have 2 spots.
There you guys go.
They're charging $2,000 to enter.
So either you upgrade or you buy it. Talk to Nestor, okay?
All right, before we break, taking a picture. Before we break, we got to do 2 things. We got to take a picture, and then we got to give this to Nestor for your time and driving all the way from Bakersfield tonight. Right. Hey, you do what you got to do to be where you need to be.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go with Giannis.
1, 2, and 3.
All right, now we're gonna take a group picture. I don't know how we're gonna do this. Selfie mode. All right, yeah, that's a good idea.
That's better.
All right.
Wait, let us, we'll put it. There it is.
Sorry. I was
make sure you're not in there.
trying to get out of it.
I see a little glare, so.
1, 2, 3. Well, that's pretty good. All right, guys. All right, thank you. So many nuggets.
Thank you.
So from last year to this year, dude?
Yeah, yeah, really good.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Glad to hear that. Yeah. Practice.
No, I heard you say that you're waiting to get invited.
Yes.
Don't wait to get invited, we created, I did a training, in Texas, I just set it up, I just put myself out there.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for that.
Just start promoting
I've been
it,
seeing you,
and
like,
you get people that sign up.
let's take some pictures.
Nobody signs up, and you don't know.
Yeah, I heard your thing was awesome today.
It was, I was pressed for time. What I like about what you guys here is let me go. I went on an hour and 10 minutes. Nobody got up and left. Like, yeah. So what I coach on basically
I'm not too familiar.
Otherwise,
I just heard it
from
a friend.
it shouldn't be about sales.
And I want to see if that's what
You get trust.
it's a machine that.
Yeah, I have machines, I have wood, I have,
It's together.
and I do the post it, like, when people are surgery, we do the post op. But when I train a certified